beats?
Well, no, nothing laid down. No, nothing laid down yet. It's just the beats, just ready to go. I'm gonna have those 85 plus I got roughly another 100
Mm-hmm.
that I've been sitting on, and I'm kind of like middlemaning these beats through my different producers. They sell them to me, and then I sell them to other people. But we all, it's kind of like if you ever watch Pawn Stars, it's like, hey man, I can't pay you top dollar for this if I'm gonna sell it to somebody else. So I need the lowest price possible. It's
Yeah.
kind of like a wholesale. Like let me get. That's why I bought 80 beats so I could get them at like a wholesale price, and then I sell them to other people for a little bit more than that, and everybody kind of gets around the same, makes the same money.
Yeah. No,
You
I
know,
feel you.
especially somebody in a bigger city because they'll sell beats. They'll take one of our beats that we sell for somebody for like $30, and they'll sell it to somebody for like $70. So they're really making money.
Okay. Hey, Mo, is it possible by the end of the interview if we could get a couple verses from you or a couple bars?
Yeah, I could do something for sure.
Okay, yeah, just try and keep it PG if you can.
Yeah, no problem.
So, okay, yeah, just because that's what we've been trying to do. But yeah, the interviews went well. The Cassius interview went well. So yeah, it's been a good night so far. Can't believe it's like
Can I say anything about like weed? Can I say like blunt or
you
like
can say
weed or?
green if you say green.
Oh, okay, okay. So I can't say like pounds or
You can say
ounces.
pounds and ounces, but all right, we're about to be on. We are at the final installment of our interview, our third round. We're gonna finish things off with M-Cellus, aka Mo. So Mo, what's been up?
Oh, nothing much. I'm over here in the non-disclosing location doing some beats right now. We've been at it for the last couple of days, trying to get the music that you all like.
And tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I grew up in Lansing, Michigan, and I started making raps around the age of 12, and with my friends and stuff like that in high school. And then as time went on, I started my own record label to bring together my friends and do more music, and that was around 2005. And since then, I've done shows all over Michigan. I've done some in Ohio, some also in Indiana, and right now it's coming to a higher point in my career to where I'm opening up for national acts, and also I'm going to different cities, and I'm also going to be featured on a 30-city nationwide tour next year. So I'm pretty excited about that. To make a long story short.
Yeah, definitely. And what was it like starting a label? That seems like a really big step for someone, in like a small town like Lansing.
Well, yeah, the whole music thing, it's just kind of like anything else. Like, say you're a plumber, right? And everybody in your family's plumbers. If everybody in your family was plumbers, you'd already have a leg up, and you know already what to do, how to use all the tools and everything. I myself started the label, and I really didn't have no type of mentors or anything like that. So I had to just look to myself to answer most questions, and kind of look to my friends and everybody around me, and the support that I got from people. And as far as like, the financial goals, it's kind of like anything else. You invest, and you hope to make your money back, or you try to, the more you invest, you want to, do bigger things. So it might get to a point where artists, invest to get artists on tracks or to do shows, and it's kind of up to you. Like, what do you want to invest in? Where do you want to take it? Just like any other business or any other plan in life, you want to have your goals and, your plan of motion, and then go with that plan of motion. And always keep in mind that things don't always turn out the way they're supposed to turn
Yeah.
out. So, and a lot of people, that's why a lot of people, I think, will quit in music because they don't make it big like instantly. It's not an overnight thing. You have to work hard for years. Like I said, I started my label in 2005, and I'm just now at the point in 2014 where, I'm known, I wouldn't say everywhere I go, but pretty much, where I go places, and I got shows lined up, a schedule of shows, and also tours and stuff, and people have different rates. So say somebody, just like I said with the plumber analogy, if somebody's father was into music or had a musical backing, you're like, oh, you can do this. I already know you can do that. Let me get you in touch with this person and that person. Like, I had to make all those connections myself. And now that I have those connections and I've learned my lessons about what to do and what not to do, I can be as effective as I want to be. And it's definitely trial and error. It's a lot of trial and error. And it's if you love it, you're not going to quit. That's all I can say about that. And that's why I'm still doing it. So.
And so was this like the most important like business decision you've ever made in your life, or one of the most important decisions you made in your life was starting a label?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, like it was it was like when I went down to Atlanta, really that's what inspired me because I was down in Atlanta and I've seen so many people who have like kind of like each person almost was like they were just representing like what they did. Like you could just be like an average Joe down in Atlanta and these guys are like I'm the best average Joe around here. And I was like, you know what? That's how I need to start treating my music. Just like instead of oh yeah, hey, I rap. It's like, hey, I'm doing things around here and I'm gonna do big things and you know, I got that confidence by seeing how the people operated and that's such a big market down there, so you gotta be ready, you know. So coming back up to Lansing I was like, you know what, we can all do this, you know, we just gotta carry ourselves with confidence and come up with game plans and get all the tools and execute, you know. So it's the rest is history besides that.
So when you talk about execution, like, are you the one man band? You know, you're the boss, the artist, the organizer, promoter, or do you have help? You have a street team? Like, what's it like in
Um,
your situation?
always run an open door policy, you know, because you can't predict things in life. You know, a lot of my fan base and a lot of my associates and friends, we're all grown. People have schedules. People have kids. I can name plenty of people who stopped rapping. You know, they chose to you know start a family, which is very admirable. I have nothing against that. And a lot of people who I know who have families still do music. As a matter of fact, you know, a couple of my beat makers, they got kids of their own, and you know, but I still stop through and do the business. So you know, it's kind of like to me, the whole reason I started my record company was to keep my friends doing something together that was positive. So I still have all my friends that I started with, and we're still doing positive stuff. But as far as like you want to call like maybe a natural selection, um, I'm tried and true, and I went through everything, and I don't mind being the boss. I also don't mind working for someone as long as we're both working towards the same goals and we can both respect each other. Then that's fine with me. But as far as Black Hoodie is concerned, I make 99.9 decisions, but I also look for input, and I do 99% of the financing. You know, but I don't mind asking if somebody wants to help throw in. You know, and just like I said earlier, you don't things don't always turn out the way you want them to. So you got to just be ready to take on whatever challenge come, or say, hey, man, I can't afford to do this because you know, I got to pay my car insurance, my house. And I think AJ and John touched on that topic earlier. You know, we're all pretty much people who work and do music and entertainment. So you got to make sure the bills are paid before you go on a 10-city tour or something like that. You got to put that money to the side and make sure your finances are right, you know. So I've always been known as a hard worker, and I try to carry that over to the music. I work hard to make my money, and then I try to invest my money wisely and work hard towards making good music and doing good music for people. And I think, you know, right now at this point, the fruits of my labor are really showing because every time I tell somebody, I say, all you gotta do is come see it and you'll believe it. And every time I work with somebody, I say, hey, solid people, I'm a man of my word. You give me the green light on to do something, I'll do it. You come up with a game plan, let's execute. So yeah, definitely being going through everything mostly with your friends and then going through stuff by yourself, it makes you like double. You know that you can do it with your friends, but you know you also, if it came push to shove, you could, you know, stand on your own and do it too. So I'm good at both actually.
And so has there been a point, I guess, because you've been around for 9 years, and has there been a point where you're just like, man, you know, this is too tough. You know, I don't want to do this anymore. Has there been like, you know, times like that?
Um, I haven't had a point where I just sat and said, you know, like, oh yeah, you know, I'm done with music or this may be it. I've had points where um I felt like, you know, like I said, being the only one, I felt like I was really the only one. So you kind of feel a little bit helpless. You feel like, man, you know, I'm doing everything myself. Like this isn't what I pictured. Just like I said, things don't always turn out the way you think. So you're like, man, this isn't what I pictured, you know. But like, I always look at things from this type of point. Like, there's bad times, there's good times. There ain't no good times without bad times. So if you're in a bad situation, once you get through that, it's going to be a good situation because you can't stay in a bad situation forever. So at all those points, I just kept pushing harder. going back to the drawing board, coming up with a game plan. I've had a couple points where I had to sit back, like say, hey, I just invested this much money into, which I call real life stuff, like my house, my car, and other stuff like that, and bills and everything. Like, hey, I can't do a bunch of shows right now or buy a bunch of beats, but let me save up some money. Let me get through this tough time. Basically, there's a lot of planning ahead. So I always think about the future. I don't let bad things that happen, I don't dwell on them for too long, because, it's a negativity thing. Other people will feel negative around you. I try to keep a general positive attitude, even with anything that stuff is thrown my way. That's just in my character. I don't know. It's really big instilled in me. And what really, honestly, what really gave me a big mental push, and like kind of like my mental like reserve that I always look to, is my father. In the last days that he was alive on this earth, he told me that, son, I know you love doing your music, and, maybe I might not be here to see, where that takes you, but I want you to just keep doing music and keep doing what makes you happy. And I'll never forget those words. And so that's like kind of like always my motivation. Like, hey, he knew what was up, and he knew what I was doing was good and was positive. So I'm going to just keep going with what he said, and I'm going to actually make him proud, still being on earth, doing something that will make my father proud, even though he's not here to see it.